electricians do work for realtors. I've been in business 15 years, been an electrician 20 years. And when I first started King Electric, my company, I was 28 years old and I didn't have a whole ton of experience, but what happened there was I was actually working for a guy for years, Erbacher Electric, right? So he's a longtime electrician in our area, and I worked for him forever. And the guy was really old. He had his knees replaced, hips replaced, and he was just like at the end of his career. And I was at the beginning of my career. I was young. I was ambitious. I had my first kid when I was 24. I had my second kid when I was 28. And so what happened there was Erbacher was like tired and old, right? And I was like young and ambitious, like I said. And we had just bought our first house. We were about to have our second kid, and Erbacher was just tired. He was like not into it. He wasn't trying to get too much business, anything like that. So towards the end there, I felt like I was really keeping his business afloat. And one of the ways I was doing that was through realtors. I and that's really kind of how I started my business. And what happened was my wife was in real estate. She worked for Remax in the city that we were living in. And so through that, I was able to meet a lot of different realtors through Christmas parties and networking events and stuff like that. And I was handing out my card left and right, right? So we made a bunch of contacts there. So the beginning of my business starting out, I was doing all the shittiest work, right? I was crawling through attics, crawling through crawl spaces, doing all the inspection reports, doing remodels, the kind of type of work that you'd normally get from realtors. Um, that's not always true because we still do a lot of work for realtors, and we actually get some really great jobs through them. And I have a whole network of realtors that we still work with. And I love those jobs, man. They're easy. We usually get these inspection reports from the inspector comes in, checks the house out, and gives them a list of things that he recommends should be remedied in one form or another. And so these realtors or these homeowners will send us that inspection report. We'll go through, we'll give them a quote, we'll clean it all up, make everything happen. We're now their electrician, right? So it works out pretty good. And I guess my piece of advice here is when you're starting out, or not even starting out, because today that's what prompted me to make this video was a Zoom meeting I had with a company this morning. I'll get to in a second. That had to do with real estate, right? But when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of money for marketing, or you're just looking for new customers, right? My number one go-to, my thinking all the time is lowest hanging fruit. What's the cheapest possible way for me to acquire new customers? Okay. And so when you're thinking like that, make sure you're being mindful that you want to leverage yourself, right? You want to leverage yourself. So the more leverage you have, the more weight you can pull, right? So what I mean by that is in real estate in particular, if you can get inside a realtor's office, and I've done this in the past and this works great, because a lot of these realtors, especially if they're seasoned and they've been around for a long time, they already have an electrician that they're familiar with or they're going to use, right? So one of my strategies was on these monthly meetings that the realtors have, they'll invite certain people in there to go pitch them their business, right? And so for me, I'm an electrician. We would go buy breakfast, burritos, donuts, coffee. I'd get invited to these meetings. I would go in, I'd say, introduce myself. Hi, I'm Fabian Flores. My company's King Electric. This is what we specialize in. I'm familiar with inspection reports. I'm familiar with time constraints on these projects that you're working on. So we're your go-to guys. We could get the job done for you, in a timely manner. And we understand how certain things can kill deals, right? So getting familiar with all that stuff was super helpful for me. And that's really how I started the business, was networking through realtors. I did zero marketing. I didn't pay for any marketing. And like, if you listen to some of my past videos, I talk about how I was going to the industrial area of my city and all the commercial buildings down there, all the older areas, with my card in my hand, knocking on doors, walking in offices, handing out my card. And in my first week of business, I could tell you, the first week I started my business, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened. We just had our second kid. We had just bought our first house. My wife basically hung up her license in real estate. So I now was the sole, um, uh, I was the breadwinner, right, in the family. So I had to make it happen, right? We didn't have any other income besides my brand new business, one truck, one guy, myself, my own tools, and out there hustling and making it happen. So I did everything I could. Didn't have a lot of money for marketing. Didn't understand business. Didn't really know anything except for how to do some electrical work, right? I knew I always wanted a business. I saw Erbacher and the kind of life that he had built over 30 years or 40 years in the trade. I was super intrigued by, man, if this guy wakes up late every morning, barely cares, and has all this huge house and this awesome property and all these toys and all this stuff, right? So that was intriguing to me, and that's what drove me. But um, one thing there, one bit of advice is leverage realtors, okay? Because networking, your net worth is determined by your network, right? Your network determines your net worth, and so when you're thinking about going out and acquiring new business customers, my go-to is always who can I leverage here to where I don't have to pay so much money to acquire new customers. And one of them is realtors. Getting in those meetings and doing all that stuff is great, right? Especially with new realtors coming to the market who don't have an established name or tradespeople that they currently use. And just make sure you're staying in contact with them, because it's like that realtor is almost like a megaphone for you with all their buyers and their sellers and stuff like that. The other one I would say, and I'll make another video on this at some point, but another one that I love to leverage is HOAs and property management companies. Property management companies already have this huge network of businesses and homes and whatever that are in with their network. And if you could get over there and you could pitch them what you're good at, especially with the property management, if you understand that business and how important it is for them to, when they need an electrician, that I need them here now type of stuff, and you understand those things and what their pain points are, what's a realtor's pain point, what's a property manager's pain point, and your job is to go in there and solve it, right, as a tradesperson. Well, you just leverage that entire property management company and all their properties without spending any money, except for your time, basically. So anyway, I had this meeting this morning with it was a Skyways, and they were trying to pitch me on basically buying advertising space on their magazine that they promote for a company called Next Home. Next Home apparently is a franchise real estate company, and there's a new one here about 20 minutes down from where I live that opened in a small town, Eaton, Colorado. Um, I don't think I see the benefit there. I feel like this office, number one, it's small. Next Home office, this new one, he told me they have 12 agents. They sold 100 houses last year, which that sounds great. 100 houses. Even if I got 10% of those as customers, on an average ticket of $500, that's $5,000. And they have tiers going from 2,000, 4,000, and 6,000. That's if I paid it bought in at 2,000 and I make 5,000 in the year, that's 100%. That's 100% return ROI. So not bad, but not great. But then you have to pay for it annually. So it's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I see it, especially with my background with real estate, and I know a ton of realtors. We already do a lot of business for realtors. I'm not sure I see the benefit there. Their pitch is, hey, we put you in this awesome publication. It's digital and nice hand printed stuff that the realtors hand out to all their customers or potential customers or at their parties. And so that was one thing that you get. I got a quarter page for $2,000, or a full page would be the $6,000. Not only that, I'm welcome to come to their networking events, right? So I could go into their office and pitch King Electric and give them the whole spiel to 12 realtors in Eaton, Colorado, a town of, I don't know, 30,000 people. Although that's not where they focus. They focus on the same region that I do. So I don't know. Is it a good return on my investment? It can be. Over the years, I've learned we've made tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars with our connections through real estate. Hundreds of thousands of dollars through real estate. I'm doing a couple jobs this week for a realtor who she's actually from Brazil, and she has this whole network of Brazilian people in our area who are like mega wealthy. They own this A lot of them are tied to this JBS, the big beef plant that's here in our area. So these guys are like literally billionaires and have houses all over the country apparently. So we've been kind of working, involved in their network. So real estate does pay off. Meeting realtors and going to the events and networking with them is absolutely a must if you're going to start a business. I think it's free marketing. You know, you do a good job for one. You set up a referral program with them. You're sending them handwritten thank you cards with the $50 prepaid card, stuff like that. You know, and that's how I would pitch these real estate companies is referrals, right? It's like, what are you going to get for giving us your business, right? And so a lot of times, man, it's money talks, right? The burritos, the donuts, coming in and doing the networking parties and showing them this is how our referral program works. Same thing with the hot tub companies. Um, you know, I know to some of you guys that may not sound like much, but if you hook up with a hot tub company that sells 100 spas a year, 100 hot tubs a year, and you're doing, you know, even 10% of those, that's 10 hot tubs on an average sale ticket price of $1,500, you know, somewhere around there. That's $15,000, you know, and we're paying out, you know, $50 per referral on that. So if you get creative and you get after the people that you can leverage, right? So the realtors, the property management companies, hot tub companies. What else? What else is out there? I guess that's the point of my video is give me some ideas. Like, what do you guys do, and how do you leverage people in your network that doesn't cost you much money? You know, because for us, I have a SEO lady that we pay her like 20 or 30K a year to do all of our social media marketing with Facebook and Instagram. She does all of our blog posts, and she keeps us ranked up there. Our SEO, she keeps our website ranked, you know, organically at the top of the list when somebody's searching for electrician near you, commercial electrician near you, whatever the keywords are. You know, so we're paying her a decent amount of money to manage all that stuff. And on top of that, I'm thinking about, you know, because we're really slow in our area right now. It's kind of dead around here. We haven't seen too much this past few weeks. So I'm thinking about Google AdWords, which I'm not sure how smart that is, because if I'm thinking about it, I'm sure other contractors are thinking about it. And basically every customer you acquire on there costs you a certain amount of money. You know, if you do the math, it costs you X amount of dollars. So the more competition you have on there, the more expensive that lead's going to become. So, or that job's going to become. So I don't know. I've always been a firm believer in being creative, right? And thinking about how can I leverage other businesses, other people, and to be a megaphone for our business. So if you guys are new, starting your business, or even seasoned guys, I would love to hear like how you do it. Again, we're fairly small. We do under $2 million a year in sales. We're probably 80% commercial, 20% resi service. This year, our goal is to really crank up that service department, because I'm trying to create more value in my business. I've learned over the years, if you want to have a valuable business and something that's sellable, you need to have reoccurring customers. And a lot of times those reoccurring customers aren't coming from the commercial market. They're going to come from your residential homeowners, realtors, property management, things like that. So yeah, if you guys are listening to the video and you have any ideas, I would love to hear what you do to get customers for almost next to free, right? So yeah, holler at me. You guys like, subscribe the video, share them, whatever. But I'd appreciate your feedback if you could give me any. And how do you guys do it? Okay, cool. Thank you. Have a great day.